Hey guys, today I'll be reviewing a fragrance. We haven't seen a fragrance review in a while, nor have we seen an In Bed with Petra. I was thinking about doing another one, but I don't know. I feel like that'll be saved probably for about 2 more weeks or something. I don't know. I kind of want to do one and I kind of don't because I feel like I don't really have much to talk about, but then I have so much to talk about, so I don't know. But like I said, I'll be reviewing Killer Queen by Katy Perry, and I'm pretty sure I reviewed Purr and Meow already. And I don't have Killer Queen's Royal Revolution or Spring Rain or the other one. I don't have those ones, and neither do I have Matte Potion. But I've seen like the ads for them and like the Sears in where I live in my city, but I've never seen the fragrances. You know, like I saw the ads, like I saw Royal Revolution, of course, and I saw that in store, but like all the other fragrances, like I see ads for them in my stores, but the fragrances never come, so it's just kind of weird. I don't know what it is, but obviously I have Killer Queen. I got it when it came out in a gift set and stuff, and then I also have it in like a tiny little version, so since I had gotten a gift set, I did have the shower gel and the body lotion, but those are long gone by now, so this is all I got left, and kind of for having this for about, I think, a year or maybe longer, I don't know. It's kind of like halfway, so I don't know, but let me get into the fragrance. And if you're wondering, my jewelry of the day are these, my amethyst and my blue topaz, my Versus watch. You can watch my jewelry and designer sunglasses collection video, and you can also watch my review on my Versus by Versace watch if you want. I'll try to link those or something. But let's get on to the fragrance. So, pop star Katy Perry launches her third fragrance, and the first one done in cooperation with Coty, because the past two were done with big parfums or gigantic parfums, but then they switched to Coty. Don't know what happened there. The scent is called Killer Queen by the song written by Freddie Mercury. And apparently it is totally different from its two predecessors. Is it? Yes, to an extent. Killer Queen has been in my vocabulary since I was 15 because of the song Killer Queen by Queen, said Katy Perry to WWD, don't know who those people are. Freddie Mercury painted the lyrics of this woman who I wanted to be. She seemed very powerful and she captivated a room when she walked in. I named my company Killer Queen after those lyrics. I feel like she means fragrance in that sentence or quote. I feel like after all this time it was appropriate to use that name in association with something I did. I feel like I'm falling, finally, into that woman Freddie painted. Announced as a playful, sophisticated, powerful, edgy, and delicious fragrance, it reflects the rebellious spirit of the singer. Its creation is signed by Laurent Leguernac of IFF. Top notes include wild berries, dark plum, and bergamot accords. The main note of the heart is velvety red flowers, celosia, I believe it's pronounced. There are also sambac, jasmine, and rainbow plumarium. The base contains cashmere, patchouli, and liquid praline. The bottle is shaped like a red ruby. It comes in its own golden pedestal. Now that is a lie. There is no little golden thing to set it on, only in the displays at the store, but it does have her crest on here, which is 2 cats, if you can see that. Let me try to get that in there. 2 cats, and then KP. And then it also says Katy Perry, Killer Queen there. Hopefully y'all were able to see that. So it says that, but it doesn't come with like a little pedestal to like set it on, so it's just like that on my dresser, which is kind of a disappointment, but whatever. And it was available as 15, 30, 50, and 100 ml eau de parfum, and like I said, body lotion and shower gel. It was launched in 2013, so yeah, it's been like about a year and a half that I had this fragrance, I believe. What I thought about this fragrance in the beginning, I thought it kind of smelled like Heat by Beyonce. It has a Heat by Beyonce feel, and when I say feel, it's kind of like Heat by Beyonce. It's kind of a heavy, kind of nectar syrupy scent to it. You know, it's a very thick fragrance. And with Killer Queen, you get like a powdery, velvety cashmere scent. And it's kind of surprising that when I look into the notes, you have like your velvet red flower and your cashmere and stuff like that, because that is kind of like royal, and this is called Killer Queen. And the ad and the promotion for this was like her like dressed up, I want to say like Marie Antoinette or something, and she like cuts up her dress and stuff, and then she's like Killer Queen, like she just throws everything, which probably led to the second fragrance being called Royal Revolution, but I feel like it should have been backwards, you know, Katy Perry. But it has that Heat by Beyonce feel, and I'm looking at all my fragrances right now, trying to like decipher what other fragrance this kind of like resembles and stuff like that. But I want to say it kind of has a Wonderstruck by Taylor Swift feel. Like, when Wonderstruck came out, it wasn't cotton candy sweet, kind of like her Meow fragrance. And Wonderstruck was kind of like Purr in the sense of it didn't follow that cotton candy smell. It tried to act a bit sophisticated. I'd probably say like a Gardenia by Elizabeth Taylor if I'm correct, or Elizabeth Arden. But it still kind of had that powdery softness to kind of give it that sophistication. Because remember, Elizabeth Arden did work on Taylor Swift's Wonderstruck, and then Coty, they make most of the celebrity fragrances, and most celebrity fragrances, as we all know, are kind of like cotton candy sweet smells and stuff like that. This one, it was kind of leaning onto it, which is why when, like it said, like sophisticated and stuff, I was like to an extent, because when it says it's very different from its predecessors, it is, but it does get overlooked. And let's get into the scent. And also when you take it off, it says Killer Queen Katy Perry there. Kind of like, I believe on Fame it says Lady Gaga, so you know, it's kind of cool. So, spray. It kind of does have that heat smell to it, you know? Like, it kind of has like that kind of sharp, soury, bittery smell that the peach gave in heat, but kind of gives it like the signature scent to it. But it also kind of has like a mix between Heat, Nude by Rihanna, and Sofia Vergara's signature fragrance. And I'd probably say a little bit of Circus Fantasy and a little bit of that Incense and Fame by Lady Gaga. And when I say Circus Fantasy, I know I haven't reviewed that scent, but it kind of has like that bittery, citrusy smell, but it's kind of powdered down, you know? I'd probably say like the taste of grape Kool-Aid. Like, it tastes like grape Kool-Aid in the sense of, obviously it's artificial grape flavor, but you kind of have that like powdery aftertaste. And powdery aftertaste, I mean, you have that powdery kind of bottom that's still, you know, kind of present in the beginning. And I do have to say it was very different from the lotion, because the lotion was more floral. It was more floral based, because you know the florals came out more than the powder did in the fragrance. And it had a more fruity appeal. And with the shower gel, you kind of got a mix of everything, but because it was still a shower gel, it's still the soap, like the generic soapy scent, kind of overpowered most of the fragrance notes. But I would say that Beyonce Heat, that Sophia by Sofia Vergara, and that Nude by Rihanna are kind of like, if you can kind of get a mix of those fragrances, like the heavy, peachy, sappy, nectarine kind of smell of Heat. There's no nectarines in Heat. And kind of that like powdery oriental smell of Sophia by Sofia Vergara, but with that soft powdery kind of close to the skin scent of Nude by Rihanna, then you can kind of sort of get an idea of this fragrance. Now, it's been a while since I've worn this fragrance, and like I said, it's kind of like that Wonderstruck by Taylor Swift. Like, you kind of overlook the scent and you're like, oh wow, this is different, this isn't cotton candy sweet, this isn't like this, but it's kind of like Purr, you know? Because she released Purr, and Purr kind of had that bamboo-y, perfumey water smell. Kind of like Curious in a way, but that lotus water smell. But then when Meow came out, it fell very right into that celebrity scent, where it was cotton candy and sweet. And it reflected like her tour, her Teenage Dream Tour, I believe it was. California Dreams Tour, there we go. And then with Killer Queen, it's kind of like she tried to make it a bit sophisticated with like the royal appeal to it. But when we get into the notes, like I said, what I'm very surprised is to see Velvety Red Flower, Sambac Jasmine, and then Cashmere. Because there is always a soft part of this fragrance that kind of lent to the powdery appeal, but it wasn't a powdery smell. And when I did say floral, those florals came out mostly in the lotion. And the shower gel is kind of a bit of mix of everything, but at the same time, that soapy scent just still kept coming out, as it's always going to come out. And most shower gels, like, you're always going to get that soapy like undertone to it, and it kind of like throws the fragrance off a little bit, but I mean, you get as close as you can. But Wild Berries, Dark Plum, and Bergamot. Now, I believe, if I'm correct, Bergamot kind of has a chocolatey scent to it, kind of like Tonka Bean in a way, but I could be wrong. Or not, no, I think Bergamot is a citrusy smell. Bergamot has a citrus smell. Okay, there we go. And I'd probably say, because this kind of has like low-key, like a florally chocolate velvet smell to it, I think that's lent to it because of the patchouli. Because patchouli, it's kind of a heavy, you know, it's kind of like ginger, but the woody ginger, you know? Like ginger is very sharp, it's very citrusy, but with patchouli, if you've ever smelled Rebelle by Rihanna, it kind of has that heavy, like dirty, earthy smell to it. And this one kind of does have it, but I think the way how I say she played with the royalness or the royalty of this fragrance is with the wild berries, the velvety red flower, and then with the jasmine and the cashmere and patchouli, it's kind of like you have a bowl. It's kind of like strawberries and champagne, you know? Like you have your berries and you have your champagne, you know? And the patchouli kind of gives it that, I would, in my mind, I'm assuming like that back then, like old, dirty, like castle smell, I guess, you know? That's what I'm getting from it. But the sandback jasmine, jasmine has always been like in history like a scent, you know, from like the Egyptians and stuff like that. And I'd probably say the jasmine kind of lends to that royal appeal in the sense of seductiveness. Because I believe Cleopatra used it to seduce, I want to say Alexander the Great, if that's the right person in history. And I think that also lends to the patchouli in the fragrance because to kind of add the citrusy bergamot smell, but not too much, but then have those wild berries and dark plum, kind of gives you that bitter, wintry smell. But then when you got into the velvety red flower, you kind of... It did lend to like a red velvet dress in the winter, you know, kind of very formal, dressed up, but still a little bit playful. Because once you got into the end of the sandback jasmine, the rainbow plumeria, it kind of toned it down. It earthed the fragrance down from being too floral, but kind of still smelling a little bit organic in the sense of sort of like Christina Aguilera's Red Sin, where it kind of has that pure flower smell of the cyclamen, but not, you don't have cyclamen in here, so don't expect the cyclamen smell. But the cashmere, patchouli, and liquid praline in the sense of that sweet kind of heat peachy smell came out at the bottom. Like it kind of comes out in the beginning, but it's not there until the base. But with the cashmere and the velvety red flower, you kind of get that soft, powdery smell, like I had said. But because of that patchouli, it's not going to be too floral, and it's not going to be too fruity, and it's not going to be too, like, light and powdery. You know, kind of like the notes play with each other in the sense of the dark plum lends to patchouli, but the patchouli kind of plays as the musk of this fragrance. That's what I should be saying. It plays as musk in this fragrance, and musk kind of is the foundation of most fragrances, you know, kind of like if you've ever seen that one interview with Madonna when she made her Truth or Dare fragrance. She didn't want musk in it, but the perfumer kept telling her, like, you need musk because what else will hold the fragrance down, you know? And that's kind of what the patchouli is doing here, but it's kind of like the notes are very similar but different, that they kind of coexist, you know? And I'd probably say if you took out the liquid praline, that would have given you a totally different smell. And I think this is her being a little bit cautious and saying, no, throw in the liquid praline, because like low-key with the red bottle and stuff like that. Because it is kind of like the heat bottle, you know how it goes from like red to like clear almost, but it's like upside down on this. She was kind of like, well, let's kind of subliminally, you know, put out something that people have smelled before and stuff like that. And I think by doing that, she kind of is like, it was the scent people are used to, but it's a little bit different because this one is more floral, because in heat you had more peach, more like, you had a more thick, fruity smell to it, like a syrup, like I would say. And then this one kind of has that velvety, it's like a velvet heat, you know? That's what I would say that this is. It's kind of like midnight heat, where midnight heat kind of has that weird powdery smell to it, but it's kind of like oriental, and I believe this is also kind of described as floriental in some instances. But it is a very strong scent, but because of its subtlety and the florals and the patchouli and stuff like that, it's not going to be too overpowering, but it is going to like waft over, but it's not going to be like in your face like Killer Queen. So overall, this fragrance kind of has a sillage of, I think, it could probably fill a classroom in the first hour of spring. But it's not going to fill the classroom in the sense of people are going to be like, ugh, what are you wearing? You know, like, it's going to fill the classroom like the people kind of near you are going to smell it like freshly sprayed. And then a little bit off to like the edge of the classroom and stuff like that, like you'd kind of, people would kind of be like, something smells nice, you know, like it'll grab some people's attention, like the Killer Queen aspect in Freddie Mercury being such an icon. It's kind of having that in the sense of people will enjoy this scent. I don't believe people are not going to enjoy this scent, because if you kind of like Heat by Beyonce, then you're obviously going to kind of gravitate towards Killer Queen just a bit. And how long it lasts, I'd probably say it did last a good 8 to 10 hours. I would say 6, but because this is kind of like, it always reminded me of a winter fragrance because of the velvet and like that cashmere feel that it had to it. I would say, obviously in the wintertime you're going to get a good 12 hours out of this scent. And in the summertime, I would say you're probably going to get your 8 to 10, but I'd probably say 9, you know? Like, I'd probably say 8 is like you could do more, and 10, I'm like, oh, that's a little, like, I don't know about 10, so I'd probably say 9, maybe 8 to 9, like in the summer if it's really hot. But I'd probably say because of the wild berries and the scent, I'd probably say you can pull it off in the summer and the spring to an extent. But because of, like, the sandbag jasmine and the patchouli and the velvety red flower, it's a little bit harder, because in the winter it's going to be more pleasant to smell because it's a little bit more sophisticated velvet powder fruity smell, you know? So it's pretty much something that's all season, but I think it'd be more preferred in the winter time, you know? So it's kind of just, I mean, obviously you can wear fragrance whenever you want and stuff, but I'm just saying for, like, you people who want to, like, really, like, stay to, like, fragrance rules or whatever. But that's my review on Killer Queen by Katy Perry. And like I said, I did have the shower gels and the body lotions, but I finished those a long time ago. You know, I had meant to do this review, but oh well, you can't always have it all. But that was my review on Killer Queen, and like I said, I also had this little bottle. So what size is this? This is the 1/2 ounce, and then this is the full size bottle, so you can get like a size difference. And it is the same size cap, I believe, so that's kind of funny. And then this one also says Killer Queen, like, on the bottle as well. Like the sprayer and the nozzle, so I don't know. And I always thought this was kind of cool, like if you could make it into like a necklace or something, just wear it around, I guess. And then this one, I don't know, but I always wish like it did come with like a stand when you bought it, at least like a paper stand, you know, so you could just like have it like displayed or something. But I don't know, that was my review on Killer Queen by Katy Perry, and I hope you liked it. And overall I said about 8 to 12 hours, just depending if it's like hot or cold. It's a velvety kind of version of Heat by Beyonce, you know. You kind of have that low-key, similar peachy smell, but because of the patchoulis and the jasmines and stuff like that, it kind of is more earthier, more grittier, but those flowers and wild berries kind of lend to the bittery coldness to this fragrance. So probably say like a champagne-y smell, you know? Like, it's just preferably like a sophisticated events, but you can still pull it off in most places if you want, in a way. So that was my review on Killer Queen by Katy Perry, like I had just said. And until next time, I want to say hi to Rami Malek, and stay safe and God bless, and I'll come back with another review, another Mr. Robot recap. Oh, there's only 2 episodes left. I have no idea what I'm going to do with my life, and maybe a vlog. I don't know what I'll come back with. Maybe you can get in bed with me again. I don't know, but like I said, hi to Rami Malek.